Ronda Rousey is back with another set of allegations. The latest in this recurring saga came when Ronda Rousey seemingly accused her ex-boyfriend Brendan Schaub of playing mind games in her latest memoir. In a bizarre turn of events, the latest aim is now on Brendan Schaub among many.
He described watching Travis knock out your unnamed ex-boyfriend.
Schaub hit back at her mildly, saying,
But to bring it up,
everybody has
14 years later.
it is what it is. Yeah.
I mean, but she has kids, and it obviously worked out, and like, it's life. Like, we weren't a match. So like, when she says mind games, no, it's not mind games.
It seems like the goalpost keeps on shifting, with Ronda dishing the dirt on anyone she likes to. At this point, it seems like Ronda versus the world, when she can come up with anything she wants, which might be her truth, but the timing seems strange. It seems like the situation is completely unjustified. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pay attention as we go down the Rousey chapter once again and find out what's going on with the Rowdy one and her newfound allegations. But before that, folks, MMA action is about to heat up in the month of June, and you'll need detailed analysis of it. So what's the holdup? Just sit back and enjoy the MMA action along with Sportskeeda MMA. We've got all things MMA that you need on your busy MMA schedule, so hit the bell icon to never miss any of our videos. Subscribe, and let's get going. There have been many UFC champions who've had a downfall once they get studied out or if time catches up with them. This is something that keeps happening time and again.
You think Ronda will ever come back?
Nope. No, I don't think she wants to. Done. She's done. She's going to move on. I don't think she wanted to, to keep doing it.
But as the legendary Joe Rogan insinuated, there's no toppling of a champ as spectacular, viral, and delusional as that of Ronda Rousey. The decline is so rapid and steep that we cannot even think of her in the octagon now. Some were even surprised that it took so long to get hold of her. Before her shocking loss to Holm and a spectacular wipeout in the Amanda Nunes fight, she was one of the pioneers of female MMA. She'd done it all. She had everything she wanted, but it all went off the table when the Lioness knocked her out and retired her from the sport. She lacked sportsmanship when she won, and in her losses, she acted like a novice in the sport.
She didn't want to shake my hand, and that's okay, I didn't expect her to, but for me, it was a sign of respect that
She's very emotionally charged. She's very, she's just kind of crazy, and she's ruthless, she's very mean.
Now, whenever we hear about Ronda, the news always revolves around her accusations, blame game, and excuses for her UFC losses. She comes off as a delusional person, a loser, rather than a former UFC champion. She has been acting unreasonably with a host of excuses, just like a Karen. Now that has happened one too many times. Well, the latest, as we said, revolves around the history between Ronda, Travis Browne, and Brendan Schaub. Keep in mind that Schaub was the ex-boyfriend of Ronda before she got together with her future husband. It kicked off with Ronda writing in her book that my ex thrived on playing f***ed-up mind games with me when I had a fight coming up and insisted that we hide that we were dating. While she avoids explicitly naming him, Rousey recounts the immense satisfaction she felt watching Browne knock out her ex in a December 2014 fight. Rousey also swore that she heard Travis say her name over her knocked-out ex-boyfriend. Another excerpt from her Our Fight, a memoir, reads, "When Travis knocked him out at the end of the first round, I didn't think it could get any more gratifying. Then Travis, towering over the semi-conscious body of my ex, leaned down and whispered something in his ear. I swore I could hear Travis' voice saying, 'Ronda says, you.' Nobody can figure out what Travis Browne actually said to Brendan. Maybe he whispered, 'Let's grab a drink tonight,' or maybe he requested Brendan for tickets to see the fighter and the kid live. Oh god, no. Sorry, I'm joking. This seems like another of Ronda's imaginations in the book. Guys, you're still here. We appreciate it. Hit the bell icon to never miss any of our videos. Do it. Come on, just do it. Now let's get back to Ronda. I wonder why she keeps coming up with such ridiculous things. Here, we're not claiming that this is false. It may be her truth. But she wrote it in a book, and after it got out, she flatly declined it. Wait a minute, not again. She was on a podcast where she was asked about Brendan Schaub versus Travis Browne in a UFC heavyweight fight. The host wanted to ask her whether or not her husband said something in the ear.
You described watching Travis knock out your unnamed ex-boyfriend.
To this question, she said,
I don't know if he wants me to say what he said.
you can ask him that
All
one
right.
day, but it was pretty fucking metal.
Rhonda, seriously, I have a question. Why did you write it in the first place? What made you do that? Do you want us to believe you? Yeah, there are so many unprovable statements. The easiest answer is to spice things up, to make the spotlight. Now that she's burned all the bridges back to WWE, she doesn't have the age or time for another UFC run. This seems like a publicity stunt at best. It's good for her to keep herself in the headlines. This definitely helps her book trend online and might well sell the book. Maybe she can again claim to be a best-selling author. To keep things clean, this is one of the few times I've seen a classy response from Brendan Schaub. He's been seen as a punching bag not only in the MMA podcasting scene, but in the stand-up comedy business too. Travis Brown also never said a word about this in public. Now that the book was out, Schaub felt the urge to clarify and responded.
To bring it up,
Everybody has
14 years later.
it is what it is. Yeah.
I mean, but she has kids, and they obviously worked out, and like, it's life. Like, we weren't a match.
That was a valid response from the hybrid, who downplayed the event but was surprised at the timing of this and, of course, its validity. He also chimed in on the Travis Brown stoppage incident, saying,
Maybe he did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I remember asking.
And if he didn't?
I remember asking you.
And if he didn't?
You were concussed. It's like it wasn't like you were hearing.
Wasn't that concussed?
No.
But even if he did say that, maybe he did. But even if he didn't, if I'm writing a book, I would have made it way worse than that.
This was a believable reply to the incident, but talk about things taking a 180 here. Brendan is notorious for being a habitual liar. He's been caught lying multiple times on his podcast, and up until the incident, he was regarded as a clout chaser. Ronda, being a veteran in the sport, is being discarded, but Schaub is being taken for granted. My god, 2-3 years ago, who could have imagined this? Talk about a role reversal. Schaub retired the year after his Brown loss. Although he cited the Reebok apparel deal with the UFC as a big reason, the majority seems to feel otherwise. Even Joe Rogan, who's good friends with Schaub, infamously told him that he wasn't good enough to cut it as a contender at the top of the UFC. Another thing related to Rousey flared up when Paige Van Zandt was talking about her and reiterated the unpleasant altercation with Ronda Rousey. The former UFC bantamweight champ apparently wasn't happy with Paige congratulating Holly Holm for defeating her at UFC 193. TMZ confirmed the story with Van Zandt, who said, "It appears that I offended Ronda by congratulating Holly after her victory. The incident was very shocking and totally unnecessary." Later, Misha Tate chimed in on the event and told Joe Rogan on his podcast, "It feels like she made time to dish a little dirt on Rousey."
Ronda came later that day and seeked her out and just cussed her out.
It seems like a recurring theme to us. Now that Ronda's done all this, it's very hard for anyone to believe her. This might be an amalgamation of all the CTE, its effect, and the drugs being prescribed to her. UFC legend Daniel Cormier believes the flack Ronda Rousey is getting from the fight community for her comments is undue. Cormier believes she's telling the truth, which she feels. Well, let's not go past that now. It's been more of a rabbit hole with Ronda. There seems to be no positivity coming out of her camp. It's all been Ronda, and Ronda. Seriously, the majority of us were fans of Ronda Rousey during her prime and what she did inside the octagon. She was a pioneer in the women's game and defended belts multiple times. Friends, what do you think of Ronda and her never-ending blame games? Will she move on from this before her legacy is completely ruined? Let us know your views on it by continuing the chat in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to push that notification bell as well so you know when new videos are coming out. Alright? Hit that like button and subscribe on your way out too. And if you haven't done so yet, please leave a comment as well, as it helps the algo. We'll truly appreciate that, and we'll see you in the next video.